Another year, another mid-season update. There's reworked champions, new items, and even buffs to this girl. So what's OP, and what are we going to see from the pro teams as they step out onto the Rift? Let's find out in the mid-season preview as we kick things off with champions. The tank update saw Sejuani, Maokai, and Zac have significant reworks. Let's start with the junglers who I think will have the biggest impact on pro play. With nerfs to aggressive junglers like Graves and Lee Sin, tank junglers are primed to come back into the meta, and Zac is a perfect fit.
I was made for this, literally.
His reworked Q has increased the speed of his jungle clear, keeps him healthier with more blobs, and provides additional CC in a fight. Zac's rework also kept his core competitive strengths intact, his long engage range, ability to gank mid from unique angles, and his tanky late game pattern. Throw on a new ultimate that can abduct enemies to either disengage them or pull them closer to his team, and Zac has it all. Sejuani is another tank jungler we may potentially see. Her passive makes her difficult to exploit, and her reworked permafrost has vastly improved her clear. This means she doesn't have a lot of the same weaknesses as other tank junglers. There's also the chance that she gets flexed around to other roles, like top or even support. And if a composition is looking for a little more CC and tankiness, Sejuani is definitely your girl. So what does this mean for the NA LCS? In spring, the jungle was dominated by players who excelled on aggressive, carry-oriented junglers. These changes will favor junglers who prefer to play a damage-absorbing disruptive style, like Reignover, who struggled in spring but might once again find his MVP form and help bolster Liquid out of their slump.
Let's show them what we got!
Happily!
Now I want to take things down to the bottom lane. During the offseason, Xayah has emerged as one of the strongest markswomen. She has deceptive range from her passive, and feathers that dissuade playmaking with her ability to root those who don't watch their surroundings. If enemies do make it close to Xayah, she can also go untargetable, which is invaluable in pro play, as the ability to outplay and self-peel are crucial tools for ADCs. On his own, RAKAN won't be as influential as his partner, but he can't be ruled out completely. He has a ridiculous amount of playmaking potential and could be picked up by supports that favor style. If the duo are ever going to take to the Rift together in pro play, then the bot lane I can see making the most out of their kit would be Aphromoo and Stixxay. The synergy they've developed over the past year and a half on CLG should be perfect for this champion duo. There have been significant changes to items across all roles, and we're going to start with the support quests that have been added to each of the 3 starting support items. Spell Thieves now gives you a 50% movement speed burst when you proc Tribute. This means that champions like Karma, Brand, and Zyra will be harder to lock down, and will have ways to close the gap unexpectedly to make their crowd control easier to land. This is better than the shield from Targon's, and far better than the skill point from Ancient Coin, which usually happens too late into the game for it to be truly impactful. Still keeping things in the bot lane, there are a few new options for ADCs in pro play. What's most interesting for the role is the changes to Runan's Hurricane. With the removal of on-hit damage from the secondary bolts, but the increased AD ratio, building a Runan's and Infinity Edge together will mean critting Hurricane bolts do the same damage as an auto attack. That's 3 autos for the price of 1, or 2,600 gold. This could see champions like Caitlyn and Jinx challenge the Blade of the Ruined King meta that was so prevalent at the end of spring. So keep your eyes on ADCs who have shown a propensity to carry, like Spring Split MVP Arrow or TSM's Doublelift, who comes back at a great time in the meta for his carry mentality. Now, we're going to take things to the top lane to talk about the changes to this girl. In Spring Split, the Rift Herald was underwhelming. Now that the Rift Herald is a turret-smashing behemoth, it will become highly contested. With the increased emphasis on Rift Herald, top lane is wide open, as long as your champion has a clear and effective way to establish dominance. Once they win the lane, secure Rift Herald, get the turret, and win game. These changes become even more interesting when you consider that top lane also happens to be one of the most stacked lanes in the LCS. The changes to Rift Herald are going to make for some explosive LCS action. Which teams will adapt the fastest and take control of Summer Split? Find out as the NA LCS kicks off on June 2nd.